Alright, we have reached the semifinals in Doha. I will try to keep this video not that long because I have a lot of stuff to do today and I have to get on with my day. But let me talk very briefly about the three finals that took place last Sunday. First we had Rotterdam, where De Minaur defeated Auger Aliassime, like I predicted, but he did it in straight sets, not in 3 sets. So I was surprised that that match was not very competitive. I thought that it would definitely go 3 sets, or at least have more competitive sets. But De Minaur basically destroyed Auger Aliassime. So I did predict De Minaur to win, but I didn't think he would destroy Auger Aliassime like that. But he did defeat him in straight sets. I think it was like 6-3, 6-2 or something like that. So congratulations, De Minaur has finally won Rotterdam after his third time in a row in the final. Finally, he does not have to play Alcaraz or Sinner, and he has now won the title. That is his 11th title of his career, something like that. Then we had Buenos Aires, where Francisco Cerundolo also won, like I also predicted, but again, similar to the Rotterdam final. I did not think that this was going to be so one-sided. I thought this would be a much more competitive match, but Cerundolo won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-2. So he has finally also won the title in that tournament after being in the final 3 times, but he has not been in the final 3 years in a row. He has been in the final of Buenos Aires in 2021, where he lost to Schwartzman. He basically got destroyed there. I remember that match, where Cerundolo was a more newer player to the tour. And then he also lost last year to Fonseca, when Fonseca won his first title of his career. That was a match that I predicted Cerundolo to win, but Fonseca defeated him in straight sets. But this time, I predicted Cerundolo to win again, and he did win in straight sets. Then we had the Dallas Open final, which I predicted incorrectly. I thought that Taylor Fritz would win in straight sets, but it was actually Shelton who won in 3 sets. However, Fritz actually had 3 championship points in that final set. So he could have easily won this had one of those points gone his way. To be fair, Shelton actually played very good tennis on those 3 points. But he made, especially I think the second or third championship point, he made a shot that he doesn't usually make very often, which was some backhand down the line, almost a little bit like in Inside Out, but not quite. It was I think down the line, and that was a winner, and that saved that championship point. So he could have easily messed up on any of the shots on championship points, and Fritz would have won this title like I predicted, but he did not. More than that, Fritz also had multiple break points in the second set, so had he taken one of those break points, he actually could have easily won this title in straight sets as well, exactly like I predicted. But he couldn't take them. I think at least one of them served an ace, so there's nothing Fritz could do about that. I'm not sure what happened on the other one, but again, you never know. Had Shelton not served an ace, had things gone differently, Fritz could have easily taken one of those break points and won this title in straight sets. But he eventually lost in 3 sets, and Shelton became the champion in Dallas, which disrupted the flow of the top seed defeating the second seed in all three of the finals. Because in Rotterdam and Buenos Aires, the top seed defeated the second seed, but here in Dallas, Shelton flipped the script and he defeated the top seed Taylor Fritz in the final. So now I will get to making my predictions for the Doha semifinals. First, we have the top seed Carlos Alcaraz, and he will be taking on the defending champion, who is the fifth seed, Andrei Rublev. The head-to-head is 4-1 for Carlos Alcaraz. They last played in Cincinnati last year, which was an extremely close match that Alcaraz won. I think 7-5 or 6-4 in the third, something like that. So Rublev, he usually makes it somewhat interesting, or at least somewhat competitive against Alcaraz. He doesn't usually get destroyed by Alcaraz, but he does lose most of the time. And do I believe that he will defeat Alcaraz in this semifinal and go on to defend his title? No, I don't think so. And the reason for that is, well, one of the reasons is Alcaraz is having a very good start to the year. He just won the Australian Open. He is just getting better on the hard courts and just better in general, more consistent. He has won now 10 matches in a row to start the year. So you could say he is on fire in a sense. And the other reason is that Rublev doesn't usually beat players in semifinals who are ranked higher than him. Looking at the past year, every time that he defeated a player in a semifinal, the player was ranked lower than he was. When there was a player ranked higher than he was in the semifinal, he lost. So that's why I believe Alcaraz will win this match. But I will give Rublev a set. He has been playing well in this tournament, and he is the defending champion. Also, like I said, he usually makes it interesting against Alcaraz. And I don't think he has lost a set in this tournament. We saw Alcaraz just lost a set to Karen Khachanov, who was playing some fantastic tennis. So I think Rublev can do something similar and maybe sneak out a tie-break set or something like that. So we'll give Rublev one set, but not more than so. And I believe Alcaraz will defeat Rublev in 3 sets and advance to his first Doha final. Then we have the second semifinal, which is the 6th seed Jakub Mensik taking on the Frenchman Artefis, who is still making his recent return to the tour after missing a lot of last year due to injury. Mensik produced the surprise of the tournament when he just defeated the 2nd seed Jannik Sinner in 3 sets in the quarterfinals. Sinner, who has, as we know, he has barely lost to anybody other than Alcaraz, especially on hard courts. So I was definitely not expecting Mensik to defeat Sinner, as most people were not expecting, but he did defeat him in 3 sets. And now he will face Artefis in this semifinal match. The head-to-head is 1-1. They last played at Miami last year when Mensik won in straight sets on the way to winning his first title, which was also his first Masters 1000 title in Miami. Do I believe that he will defeat Fils again and advance to this final here in Doha? Yes, I think that he will defeat Fils, but I will give Fils a set also, because Fils has also been finding his form gradually, been playing some solid tennis, but I think Mensik is playing the higher level of tennis. And also, similar to Rublev, Fils does not usually defeat players in semifinals who are ranked higher than he is. At least he has not done that all of last year. To be fair, He missed a lot of last year due to injury, but he has not last year defeated a player ranked higher than he was in a semifinal. When that has happened, like Rublev, he has also lost. So because of that, I will choose Jakub Mensik to defeat Otto Fies, but I will give Fies a set. And I think that Mensik wins this semifinal match against Fies in 3 sets. And I think that we'll have a final between the top seed Carlos Alcaraz and the 6th seed Jakub Mensik. And then we will see if Mensik is able to defeat Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz in the same tournament, which is something that I believe only Novak Djokovic has done, which was in the 2023 World Tour Finals when he defeated Alcaraz in the semifinals and Sinner in the final. I don't know if anyone else has ever defeated Alcaraz and Sinner in the same tournament. Maybe there has been someone, but I'm not sure who that person is. So let's see if Mensik can do that, but first he has to actually defeat Fies, and then we will see if he is able to defeat Alcaraz and Sinner, if Alcaraz is in that final, which I believe he will be. If not, we are going to see a classic example of you beat one of the beasts and then the other one is waiting for you, and it's very hard to defeat both of them in one tournament. But if Mensik does this, we already know that people will hype him to high heaven and start saying that he will be a member of the new Big Three. He will be the third guy. He will be the guy who stops Alcaraz and Sinner from winning slams. That is what people will say if Mensik wins his tournament, especially if he defeats Alcaraz also in the final. Will Mensik fulfill that and become the third guy and stop Alcaraz and Sinner from winning slams? I don't know. A lot of people have been waiting to see who this supposed third guy is, like we got with Novak Djokovic when he disrupted the 11 slams in a row that Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal won from 2005 to 2007. Now we are in a period where Alcaraz and Sinner have won 9 slams in a row, and we are waiting to see who the third guy is who will stop this duopoly and disrupt this. So far, no one has done it, and we don't know who it will be. So people love to speculate about who that guy will be, if there will be such a guy, and if there will be a guy who consistently defeats them and competes with them at the top. We don't know. Will that guy be Mensik? I don't know. I really cannot predict that. But I will say, I will give Mensik chances to win a Grand Slam in the future. I do not give chances to that to everybody, but I will say that Mensik can win a Grand Slam. See, there are other players who I believe will never win a Grand Slam. For example, Andrei Rublev in this draw. I don't think he will ever win a Grand Slam. He has never been past a quarterfinal in 10 attempts, 10 different quarterfinals. And he is not getting better. He's arguably getting worse. So I don't think he will ever win a Grand Slam. But Mensik, I can see Mensik winning a Grand Slam. I can also see Fies winning a Grand Slam for now. But depending on what they do in the next 3 to 4 years, my opinions of that can change. So let's see what happens. But for now, let's focus on this tournament and these semifinals. I think Alcaraz defeats Rublev in 3 sets, and Mensik defeats Fies in 3 sets. And we have a final between the top seed Carlos Alcaraz and the 6th seed Jakub Mensik.